YouTube? Kenny, we're out here in the smoke, in the two-stroke air. So what we're going to be doing today is talking about price and cost versus value. So we're going to talk about why I decided to take this one back down from a situation that was more like this. Decided to sell it, what changes that I decided to make that will give me the best bang for my buck and the best chances of getting this thing sold on the open market today. So if you're interested in this kind of content, hit that like button and subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that the next time I upload a video, you'll be notified. So let's just jump into these two different machines, talk about them for a couple seconds, and then I'm gonna let you all know what I did and why I decided to change some things and let go of my 95. So first and foremost, when you look at these two machines, they're very, very solid machines. You can't go wrong with a Banshee for the most part with anything. But if you all remember, my plans for my 95 was to have it like this, but it ended up being more like this with the 421 Monster in it. So what I decided to do was take it back to like a stock machine and sell it. Why did I not try to sell it like this over here? We'll discuss those things here in a minute. So if you're anything like me, you decide that you're going to build your machine and you think it looks absolutely wonderful. You build it how you want it. You love what you end up coming along with. But there's some issues that come along. So at some point in time, you decide, hey, I'm going to sell this. I've done a video on this before. All the 18-wheelers just want to come by now when I'm talking. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm a couple acres off the road, but you can still see them through the woods. But you build your machine and you decide for some reason you're going to go sell it. So we go ahead and we post it up for sale. Everything is kind of what we want. But I did my build video explaining this. I have about 16 grand inside this machine. And yeah, it's a lot of money, but when you're talking Banshee stuff, you can blow 16K in no time. So if you're interested in my list of things right there, the video of that will be posted down here in the description. But, you know, once you take a machine that costs you around, I think $4,500 or $4,000 in that aspect, and then you do the powdering I did myself, so I saved tons of money on that. Wheels, $400 something, tires, a couple $100, plastics, $1,000. Just the head, the head was $200. The exhaust was $1,000. The top end was, the whole kit was maybe like $1,700. Then I sent it off to HJR to get ported, and then that was another like $500 or $600. So it adds up. Carbs, filters, extended arms, brakes, change. I mean, it was a lot of stuff that we ended up doing to this machine. So all in all, I built this to how I love it. And most people do that. You build it to what you want. The problem with that is the next person might not want what you want. I don't know how many times I've gotten on like Marketplace, looked at something, and I have like a 350 Banshee or a 250R or something like that, and they'll want like $10,000 and $12,000. And what I see is a machine that looks really good, but it's not necessarily my taste. So what I'll do is think about what I have to sell, what I have to get rid of in order to do that. That's a pain. So I tend to shop for machines. It makes these harder to sell. I knew one guy who had one listed for a great price in West Virginia. He had it listed for 10K. I knew easily he probably had 15 to 16 in it. His listing said he had around that. I did speak to him a little bit, but the thing was he had listed for 10K because no one would buy it at the price that he had invested in it. And we all get that. That's part of the game. We all understand that that's how it happens. But it doesn't make it any easier for you if you have to sell it and you got all that money invested. Oh yeah, the extended arms, the shocks, the rebuilds. I mean, it was a lot. So you remember all that stuff. Taking this one back down to stock was just the best way to get the most money I wanted out of it, right? So there's no way, it's hard to sell those for 10 grand. Now, I've sold a couple of them for good prices, and when I say good prices, I mean like 5 digits, and they're been back down to stock, and that's the way to go for me. It can be expensive. If you buy a machine that is needing some work to it, then you decide that, hey, I'm going to take it back down to stock. Piecing one together can get pretty expensive. If you already have one that runs, the motor is a good thing, but I still take all my motors down. I vapor blast my motors. I make sure that they have good compressions. They have good compression, we'll rock with it. If they don't have good compression, they're going to get bored, pistons. Yeah, I make sure everything is powder coated, everything has got new gaskets on it. I take my carburetors apart, clean my carburetors, I do all that. So in order to get the value out of the machine that you want, you need to really put some time and some money into it. Case in point, I had a friend who had a red and silver, I can't remember. He asked me what I posted my 92 for, and I told him for it, and I got a good price for it, and I got a good number. And he was like, well, heck, I'm going to go ahead and post mine up there. And, you know, you did all that powder, and I'm going to do some powder into mine. Didn't work. Keeping it as close to factory as possible is what it is. A lot of people don't want a custom colored stock machine. A lot of people don't want it, especially when it's not modded. Now, like I said, if you have an exhaust system, that's good. If you have some like rims and stuff, that's good. But when you say, hey, I'm going to go with a custom frame, say, for example, if I took this machine and I said, hey, this machine comes with silver wheels, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to powder coat them purple. But I don't take the time to color match the purple and make sure it matches. So it's kind of like a plum purple, and then it's like an illusion purple, and the bumpers are slightly different. You got, you know, chrome powder versus chrome actually, you know, plating. It doesn't help. So you want to keep it as close to possible, close to stock as possible. And I have reached out to a couple collectors and people who have like OEM machines, and these people have been gracious enough to help me out with a lot of pictures and a lot of different things. So I was able to keep these things close to stock. This one is up for sale, but as you saw, I have this seat, which is stock. I'm giving people the option, that seat, or the Thrill Seeker seat cover, which has the mustard color in it. Also, everything up front is the stock colors. We have the, you know, the bumpers, the shocks, the arms, all that stuff. The black exhaust, everything there is still black, staying black, 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 black. But when you come back to the back, I do have a black axle. And I have the powder-coated hub, powder-coated brake hub, brake block off, and the wishbone, right? So I also have the option, as if anyone wants it at that point in time, because if it sells and it's not a local thing, I'm going to put you don't have pictures. It's going to be the option for the powdered chrome look here. So it'll have the swing arm, it'll have the carrier, same, but it'll have the gold, zinc gold powdered. The hubs will be powdered, as well as the axle is going to be silver, and then that part is going to be silver. So it's going to be really close to stock. So the key thing, if you want to get the most bang for your buck, if you buy a machine that's close to stock and you want to mod it, if you can afford to just mod it and not sell and get rid of all of your OEM parts, if it comes later on down the road, you can swap this thing back over, get your money back, then sell the aftermarket stuff. It's hard. It's right now night and day. This one I probably can get, if I can throw numbers out, 10, 12. This one, possibly 10, 12, you know, possibly. And this one's got 16 in it. This one does not. Both of them have the same amount of work. Everything's been done. People would want this. They would flock over this more than they would flock over that. So that's just my 2 cents and my advice. If you're going to build a machine, if you want the best bang for your buck, keep it close to stock as possible. And oh yeah, if you're getting anything, if you want anything over $5,000, you're really going to need to have a title and go through the process of having a title. If you get a title and you want to do the skipping title thing, that's up to you. That's your call. I just go ahead and go down to the DMV and get the title in my name, so I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Go ahead and get an official bill of sale, and I go ahead and get all that stuff from the DMV website in my state, so it's not a huge issue. So if I know I'm going to get it, one from California, for example, and there's anything that they want to have notarized or anything that needs to be like collected, I'll send that stuff and try to have that stuff in a position to where all the signatures are on both sets of papers. So it's not a huge issue later on down the road. So that's just my 2 cents. One more walk around and we're good to go. Right here, man, looking good. I mean, I just can't get over how clean it looks. Now, like I said, I love this one. Unreal. Power, speed, delivery. But this one here is just so freaking clean. You know? So, look at that. And of course, a lot wider over here and everything, but dude, this is freaking clean Banshee over here. She's wanting to play. Go on somewhere, Nala. All right, so that's my 2 cents. We're going to conclude this video. If you enjoy this kind of content, hit the like button and subscribe. Closing up the how to get the most money out of your Banshee. What's the best upgrades you're going to do to your Banshee? That is taking it back to stock and keeping it that way. If you have the option, keeping it that way and being able to sell it and make some money. You can still make money off them if you mod them, but just not as much. And the market is going to be smaller, so you're going to have less people looking for orange and white and blue versus the 95 colors. All right, everyone, check out the 95 build that we did over here, and also check out the 93 build that we did over there.